to At the Office, Cleveland's home for sports talk that never clocks out. From the latest headlines to heated debates, we're diving into everything sports. It's your hosts, Noah, John, and Erik.
Cleveland! Welcome into At the Office, the sports show where we talk all things Cleveland sports. And maybe I should say Ashtabula because we are here at Martini's in Ashtabula enjoying a couple martinis. How we doing, boys? Live in the flesh together, talking some sports here at Martini's. John, Erik, I can touch you. I can see you. How are we, man?
You just hit on it, brother. It's great to be here with you guys live and in person. It's cool to be here doing our first live shoot. I got to sit in the middle of two of my best buds. We get to talk sports. We get to try drinks. We get to try apps. I'm looking forward to it. How you doing, E?
I could not be happier. This is so much fun. I'm under the weather, so apologies for my voice. But we're live. We got martinis. This is cool.
I'm absolutely ecstatic, and we have plenty of stuff to talk about Cleveland sports-wise this week. There has been some news dropping. First of all, before we get into any of that, we've all now sipped our martinis. How are we feeling? How does it taste? What are our thoughts about martinis as an establishment?
First of all, this place is so cool. It is an old golf course. It's the windows in the view are unbelievable. The martinis, they picked a good name because the martinis are so good. I had to call my mom today as, a mid-30s man just to double check on the medicine that I'm taking for my cold. I can have a martini, right? And she's like, yeah, one's not going to kill you. And I'm like, well, I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah. I love it. John, talk about the food. We've been here a couple times now.
Yeah,
we've got to check the place out. It is fantastic. Tell me what you think about martinis a little bit in a nutshell.
It's awesome. When you said Ashtabula, I was like, oh, here we go. I'm a seat kid, but the people could be nicer. The first thing I noticed was the staff. It's here on what used to be a country club, founded in 1906, burnt down way back in the day, repurposed. Staff was incredible. The golf course views of the now walking course are incredible. The martinis are excellent. And the coolest part about this place for me is that they do everything here. We got to tour the kitchen before. They cut their own steaks. They make their own nuggets. They mix their own drinks. They make their own seasoning. So I just thought it was a good kind of like soups and nuts kind of place, and the food is excellent.
I'm so glad somebody was taking notes when we did our tour because I didn't have any of that ready, but that was great.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. First of all, that was me typing the notes in the group chat. John just rehashed them. But we're here. We're enjoying our martinis. I got a caramel apple. What martinis do you guys have down there?
This is a fly me to the moon, and you will be on the moon if you have a few of these. This is excellent. It doesn't even taste like alcohol, man. This is wonderful.
Erik, what are you doing?
This is the Bananas Foster. I wanted to order this last time, and I went with something else. I forget what it was, but it was also good. But this is like dessert. I should have maybe ended with this. It reminds me of... Remember Chocolate Bar downtown? They had those great dessert martinis. Reminds me of that, but better.
Much better. Gentlemen, we could yip it up about martinis for days upon days because this restaurant is fantastic. Make sure you come check it out if you're ever in the Ashtabula neck of the woods. That being said, guys, there's been a lot of Browns news going on, but first, I almost forgot, but I will not let it be forgotten. We have a sponsor here at the show, D&D Meadery. Use code @D-office CLE for 5% off. Buy 2 bottles, get a shot glass. We don't have the shot glasses here in person. This is a martinis-based episode, but we still got to give a shout out to D&D. John drinks it like it's water. Erik, when he's not sick, drinks it like it's water. I drink it like it's water. It's fantastic alcohol, and you just can't beat it. Just cannot beat it.
It's local, another local interest. I think I saw some behind the bar, so they're starting to get the word out there. Don't be late to the party. Pick yourself up some. Don't forget to use the code to get a discount too. At the office.
At @-the-office CLE for 5% off. Buy 2 bottles. Get a free shot glass. Don't pass up on that opportunity. Now we can finally get into it, gentlemen, because I have the question to ask you. Are the Cleveland Browns stuck in neutral? Please do share. You can tell your thoughts this all gets spurred off of the thought process of Russell Wilson signing with the Giants yesterday. And then we had some news about Dak Prescott pop up earlier today. We'll get into that in a second. But do you think the Browns are something neutral? What do you think the Russ move means in terms of the Cleveland Browns and this franchise really just moving forward?
I can go first. I think this is a big deal, but a small deal at once because the calculus doesn't change. It just means that the market for QBs is smaller. It's even more important that we go out and find our guy. And I think we're going to because I did some thinking, guys. I'm almost certain that Shador is that guy.
Really?
Yeah, and here's why. I looked back at Kevin Stefanski's history. Since he came up from being an assistant QB coach to QB coach in 2017 and looked at the list of people he had, they were all strong-armed. They were all not super escapable. They all could throw the ball downfield. They all had success in the Stefanski system, with one huge exception of Deshaun. We learned to think about people like Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield. This guy is built like them, and I think it becomes even more clear now that some of the good veterans are gone, that the Browns should have to Shador number 2. What do you think?
It's interesting. I watched a lot of film footage on both Shador and Cam, and the biggest takeaway watching Shador film footage and Colorado in general is how freaking good Travis Hunter is. That was my biggest takeaway. And so I go into this draft. I know we need a quarterback. Are we reaching? I'm worried that we're trying to mold a bad quarterback class into something because we're so needy right now. As in terms of what you said, Noah, what you asked, are we stuck in neutral? It sure feels like we are, because it feels like we're not doing anything when everybody else is doing something to get better. What's that mean? Did we have designs on Russ Wilson? I don't think it's bad news. We might not have offered Russ. Maybe we didn't want him. We still worked him out. We did our due diligence. Of course, Cam Ward, we worked him out in Florida. Notable that not just Barry and the coaches were there, but the owner, Haslam, was there as well, which makes me wonder, are we leaning more towards Cam Ward? I will say this, in everything I've seen leading up, Cam looks locked in, man. He looks like he's talking about wanting to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he looks like the guy. I'm not saying that Shador's not. I don't get the same vibe. I don't want to put his parentage on him, but he reminds me of another rich kid, Johnny Manziel. I'm not saying it's going to end the same way at all, but I don't get the same. I think Cam's ready to work and ready to win. I don't get the same vibe from Shador.
See, I do get the same vibes from Shador Sanders. This kid has grown up to be a hard worker, learning from an NFL Hall of Famer. Look at that, a real fist class.
That's what you're wrong. I'll get to that in a minute. I like a lot of what you said, but I'm with you.
He is a hard worker. He's always been the hardest worker in the room. Everywhere he goes, he has a motto of just be legendary. This kid is going to go and win, in my opinion, and do everything in his power to be legendary. How will that happen? Who knows? We don't know.
I do wonder, he had a pro-level offensive coordinator at Colorado.
Right.
Have they talked? This is a Stefanski guy, by the way. They're friends.
Well, he was really good in the system. I mean, he didn't have the best talent in the country.
Listen,
we talked about that.
When you talk about Cam Ward versus Shador Sanders, Cam Ward probably has the most talent. Yes, I agree with you. Shador Sanders, bar none, in terms of the Cleveland Browns. I've said it multiple times on the show. I wrote it for articles for Fans First Sports Network. Shout out Fans First Sports Network. Shador is the perfect fit quarterback for Kevin Stefanski's offense.
So, hold on.
By the way, real quick on what Noah said, that whole system thing at quarterback matters. You want a wide receiver who's just talented at quarterback? I would argue Derek Anderson had a better arm than Peyton Manning. But system and fit in coaching, Peyton Manning was more ready for the NFL, even though somebody who had a rocket arm and could throw it 75 on the fly.
Okay, so that's actually a great segue, because what made Peyton Manning great was his understanding of the game. He could read pre-snap, make his pre-snap reads, and then post-snap reads better than anybody in the game, right?
Yep.
I wonder how that will translate for Shador. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a heavy RPO offense that Colorado ran. Kevin Stefanski's offense, on the other hand, is one of the fewest RPOs in the league. So you can argue, one would argue, I'm not saying this is the case, but when you're RPO heavy, you got to make one read, and that's it. So is he going to struggle making multiple reads at multiple levels? We don't know, of course, but that's my concern.
My concern is less in his reads because he has been taught and groomed and nurtured into being the most elite mind of football possible.
So was Deshaun Kaiser.
That's fine. That's fine.
That doesn't mean anything.
Talk about names I didn't think I'd hear when I woke up this morning. That's a good.
But you're
story.
also talking Deshaun Kaiser versus a guy who has NFL heritage, who has put his all into being an NFL quarterback from the moment he popped out of the womb. My guy.
So did his brother.
Okay, he's a safety.
No, I know. I'm just saying I don't think that means anything.
Why does it not mean anything?
Because I could have been groomed for CEO of Apple because I was Tim Cook's son. That doesn't mean I'm going to make a great CEO.
I get that, and I'm with you when it comes to that specifically. But what you're forgetting is the talent that is there in Shador's game.
Oh, he has talent for sure.
You compare him to his brother, and it doesn't equate because the talent, the level of athleticism, everything he has going on compared to his brother, bar none. There's a reason his brother is going undrafted and Shador is going in the
So
first
answer
round,
me
period.
this. Would you rather QB1 next year, Shador or Kirk Cousins?
Shador
Or Aaron Rodgers? Shador or Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
I don't think we learned anything in that exercise.
But it was fun. Listen, the one thing I want to make sure we remember too, flash and panache and swag, as the kids call it, doesn't mean you aren't a hard worker in this one. They can simultaneously be true. I think a lot of times, especially because of what happened with some pro athletes in the 90s, we think hip-hop culture, swag, a lot of change, rich father, outspoken, means you don't get in the gym and grind. That isn't true. Shador Sanders, we don't know what his work ethic is other than what we've seen on the field. He puts in the hours on film. He puts in the hours in the weight room. Just because he has a famous dad and is worth more than most of us ever could hope to be before he even started his pro career does not mean he's not willing and ready to work on it. It reminds me of the old Allen Iverson argument. Not the world's most team-focused one. But tell me the guy didn't work hard.
We're talking about practice?
We're talking about practice. Listen, I get it. There is a stigma out there for Shador Sanders, but the stigma is not the reality of this kid's game. He is a hard worker, in my opinion. He does all the little things. He does the right things. He was named a leader at that Colorado system, not because of his father, because of what he meant to his teammates. There is intangibles there that this Cleveland Browns locker room needs so damn desperately that is bar none compared. And now I agree, Cam Ward has some of those same characteristics, but we're talking about offensive fits and that kind of thing at that point.
I'm glad you came back to Cam Ward because I got a question for you based on one of your earlier points. I think Shador's my guy. Noah does too, but we don't know. Neither do you, but you said Cam Ward you'd rather have.
No, I didn't say that for the record, but go on.
I apologize. But here's my question. Maybe then it's pure hypothetical for all three of us. If Cam Ward is the Browns' guy, do you give up the later rounds of draft player or do you need to move up a spot? Last I saw, based on the chart, you could keep your second round pick at 33. It might cost a third and a fourth. I could read you the list of third and fourth round picks that Andrew Berry has made. I'll summarize it for you. They all stink. Nobody's left in the league except like one person.
Martin Emerson, Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
Third round picks.
If Cam Ward is your guy, you would trade Cedric Tillman?
Yeah, 100%. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
So that's my point is if you give up a third and a fourth to get Cam Ward, does that make sense?
No, absolutely not. I'm not strong enough on either of them to make that move. First of all, I think we need to keep in mind, too, if he is their guy, meaning the Titans guy, nothing's moving them off that pick. It doesn't matter. I mean, barring silliness.
Yeah, the Mike Ditka, I'll trade my whole draft.
Right.
And he's not that guy.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder, we keep talking about quarterback class, and everyone agrees that next year is the year to take a quarterback.
Potentially.
Are we reaching? Noah talks about Abdul Carter as being a generational player. a Micah Parsons type. I don't know if he's generational. He still has to play some snaps in the NFL, but he is a good, maybe undersized, but good player and a potential option there.
You actually said undersized because that's a big
Definitely
deal. Undersized on defensive line ain't like being undersized at safety.
No, for sure.
Right.
Shoved around like a rag doll.
He struggles with the run game, but you can shore up that side of the run game, which it should be noted they're going to choose that side because it'd be the opposite of Myles Garrett.
It should
Anyway, to
also
run
be
the ball,
noted that
but
Myles Garrett isn't great at the run game either. He's just so
Listen,
good at pass coverage.
So you're going down this not Micah Parsons, but Abdul Carter rabbit hole, and I was the one who was an advocate for this on the show originally.
No parts of it. Still for the record. Continue.
But think about what that guy has done. Let me backtrack for a second. Think about the Chargers, right?
Okay.
They brought Joey Bosa in. They brought Khalil Mack in. What happened?
You tell me. I don't remember them doing a whole hell of a lot.
Right. So you bring in two dominant edge. Yes, in theory, on paper, it sounds scary. It sounds like it is going to be a big deal. Does it really matter at the end of the day? And we're talking about a Chargers team that also had a quarterback.
Yeah, Herbert. I think no. I think you've seen the exercise of having a dominant defensive line. I think you can change the game on defense if you have a lockdown corner and an all-pro at linebacker, and there's a mix. But having the best two pass rushers, I mean, I bring this up all the time. Name me two pass rushers from the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Quarterbacks.
They were also rushing forward. Listen, my point is, you talk about, re-signing Myles Garrett was such a big deal. We got our guy. That doesn't change things on defense. That's been my argument.
Yeah.
But look no further back than the Denver Broncos when Peyton Manning couldn't throw a ball anymore. That defense won them a Super Bowl. So is it a bridge quarterback situation where if you can get a guy like Kirk, I'm not saying you can, but enough picks, no more first, please, Barry, if you're listening, but enough picks could get you Kirk. You got all you need. If you have a great defense, you need a game managing quarterback that fits into the fantasy system.
I don't want anything to do with Kirk Cousins anymore.
Why?
But here's the thing.
No, let me go for a second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put my hand in front of your mic. I'm gonna put my hand in front of your mic.
By the way, the Martinis, if I didn't mention, are excellent.
I might need another one of these.
I killed it already.
Oh man.
Kirk Cousins has been an issue since the end of the season, since he lost his
When he was hurt, but go on.
He said he was hurt. He was not on the injury report. That is some agency potential. Listen,
He's got a point.
the injury report sticks for a reason. Let me go macro. Let's go bigger picture. Kirk Cousins, in theory, sounds great. He's done great with Kevin Stefanski. He's the prototypical quarterback to do well in this offensive scheme.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, he's 37. Had a horrible season last year. Has been a diva in terms of the media, saying that he doesn't want to waive his no trade clause that he has right now. If a team drafts a rookie quarterback because of the Michael Penix situation, saying that he was hurt after he had some bad games, way after the fact that media wrote months later. To me, it sounds like another fool's gold. Maybe it's the Deshaun Watson thing that makes me go, never mind, I'm good.
I said bridge quarterback, first of all, but you talk about diva. Myles Garrett trashed us for like 6 straight weeks.
Okay, that's fine. That has nothing to do with talking
It's
about
like,
bringing
okay,
in
never
Kirk
mind.
Cousins. That has nothing to do with bringing
Bridge
in Kirk.
quarterback. I'm not saying we keep him for the next
What
10
are we
years.
bridging to?
Next
What
year.
Bridge into the future. They think so. Here's the thing. I have 2 problems with this. One, I have a lot of problems with this, but I'll keep it to 2. Kirk Cousins is a diva. But being a diva doesn't make you a bad quarterback. Right? It would remind us kind of like let's
Baker.
on talent because I guarantee you Tom Brady was a diva. He was really good.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
If you're playing for a quarterback in the NFL and you're on a winning team, you're a diva. There's some big and some small, but I don't think that's good evaluation criteria because a diva who can sling it is exactly what we need. But the second thing that I hate, and I brought it up to you guys week in and week out, is this. The national media knows what we're talking about because Mel Kiper's ass got on some podcast and said, that doesn't look good. Mel Kiper doesn't know shit. And neither do the GMs, to be 100% honest. They're paid to do it. They should know it. None of these guys hit more than half the time. And what I also would remind us is somebody who plays quarterback in this year's class will be good, and next year's draft class, somebody's going to disappoint. So waiting a year with a bridge quarterback just to get Arch Manning is dumb in my opinion, because there is no guarantee that Arch Manning will be good. Or
hold on, I like your point, and I want to bring up something that I saw earlier today.
Okay.
The 2017 draft, because you're right, GMs have no idea what they're doing.
I don't mean they have no idea.
No, they have no idea.
No, we all have no idea.
But listen to this draft. What we could have taken at our positions in 2017. Myles Garrett at number 5.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes at 13.
That's already enough for me.
TJ Watt at 24. Alvin Kamara at 52. Cooper Kupp at 65.
This is what we could have got at that draft spot.
Potentially.
Holy shit.
My point is, you don't. He did go 1 to us.
You mean that he was going to slide to us at 5 in that scenario?
Exactly. He did go 1. My point is, though, that GMs don't know what they're doing. I mean, look at the stories coming out of New York where a grandkid is making decisions based on Madden. They have no idea.
Speaking of GMs not knowing what they're doing, I'm not trying to bounce all over the place, but this was a big talking point in the Cleveland media, our scape, what we do here. There was a Bruce Drennan, longtime announcer, talker in the
Sorry, it's the old people.
I know it is. Because now he's on Big Play, and I don't know how many people watch him religiously anymore, but he said that he has a source of some major Browns news, and that major Browns news being that the Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys to receive Dak Prescott. He got crushed already in the media. Josina Anderson, James Slater, NFL Network already said no can do. This is not true. What do you think Dak Prescott's fit with the Cleveland Browns is?
I like him more than Kirk Cousins or any of the other veteran quarterbacks we listed, but I don't think that's the answer.
Well, it's never going to happen. I mean, it's an impossibility.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
He lost all credibility. If a source was telling him that, it was the Cleveland Browns made a phone call to Dallas, which I don't even think either team's cap could make this happen. But Cleveland Browns made a phone call and said, hey, what do you think about Dak? And they're like, we like him. We're going to keep him. That was it. That was the conversation, because there's no way this is happening. Do I like him? I don't know. It's a lot of money.
So I don't think this would ever happen. Here's a scenario I could get behind if we're interested in Dak. Cleveland Browns, it's a trade. Cleveland Browns acquire Dak Prescott. We send our 33rd pick and Deshaun Watson.
You have to send Deshaun, yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to eat all their contract for us to have the space to eat the.
What if aren't they
Now
both
on our roster? We only have Kenny Pickett.
They're both number
And he's
4,
better than
right?
Kenny
Yeah,
Pickett,
they are
but
number 4.
Why don't they just quietly swap?
Nobody will know.
Deshaun will
ever
sit
notice.
in a Dallas Dak Prescott jersey on the sideline.
Because all black guys look alike, right, Erik?
Okay.
Nobody will
As
notice.
I started
I would
that,
notice.
I knew he would go there. I knew it. Well played, though.
That's funny. That's funny. Randy Northrup is very, very, very adamant. He is now texting our Google Voice
Is he?
to tell us that we should be going veteran and we need to shut up about your Cam Ward. I disagree. I don't think there is a better option out there veteran-wise.
So who's available?
Yeah, text us back. Tell us who you want. We'll tell you why we disagree. But I like the way you're thinking.
Beyond
Thanks for engaging.
Kirk, which at this point is a little tough. Aaron Rodgers, are we trying to get in on that sweepstakes? I mean, I'm here for the clown show, but
You want A Rob?
hey,
I mean, he's probably the best out of the bunch with any of these guys that can come.
I agree. He's best to the veteran.
Still, I would take him over Kirk. I'd take him over Russ. I'd take him over Jameis. I'd take him over Jacob. Insert any name here, I would. But I'm so far on the train now of we need to go for a rookie and we need to take a shot.
is the rookie going to start?
What?
Is the rookie going to start?
That's a tough question, too. That's something we haven't even thought about answering yet here on the show.
I'm actually
We got to
upset.
get a rookie first.
I know this is going to be one of the craziest takes I've ever had. I'm kind of excited to see what Kenny Pickett does.
That's not a crazy take.
I'm not.
Got
I think it is exactly crazy. I'm all the way good.
See?
Now you can fist bump, because he's wrong. Listen, I'm not going to bet $100,000 on any of this stuff, but to think that a first-round draft pick maybe got a bum shake in his first stop and he's not totally cooked after a few seasons isn't wild. He typically comes in and be a consistent quarterback. You told me you thought he was going to turn into Tom Brady, I think you're crazy. But if you told me he could lead this team as well as Joe Flacco, that's possible.
Put him in situations where he can succeed.
Yeah.
Short downs and distances.
Another non-mobile quarterback with a strong arm.
Strong arm. We got to draft a running back. Lean on your running back, but I think he could be successful.
I'm still all the way off on Kenny Pickett. I just don't think the skill set is there to be.
How great would it be, though? It's always the other way around. It's always Buckeyes going to the Steelers or former Browns. How great if we could take that former Steeler and turn him into, I don't know, Super Bowl quarterback.
By the way,
Kenny Pickett comes here and goes 9-8. Steeler fans are going to be sick about it.
By the way, you guys asked Randy Northrup what quarterback he'd take. He said he would not mind Dak Prescott because at least he's a veteran.
We said realistic, Randy. We said realistic.
That's fair, though, Randy. If we could get Dak Prescott,
I'd be fine with it.
Instead of Aaron Rodgers, I think that's the move.
Yeah.
And they get from there.
I'm just all the way on the rookie quarterback move. That's where we go. We've talked about Russell Wilson going to the Giants. I think they're out of the quarterback sweepstakes, at least in round one now. They have James Winston. They have Russell Wilson. So there's two.
They're doing what Pittsburgh did last year, essentially.
Yeah. Basically. So to me, I'm all the way in, and I think this front office, regardless of what we're debating or not, is all the way in on taking a quarterback early here. Maybe they're hoping, like we talked about, Erik, not to spoil your mock draft that didn't get to go on the show last week because you were sick. Maybe they're hoping that there is a Sanders slide in the draft and we get to take Ashtabula Carter, or
I don't know that we can. I don't know that he's sliding that much. We'd have to trade back up, obviously.
Well, yeah, for sure. I don't think they're thinking he's going to go to 33, but I do think if he could get to mid-teens, they'll gladly give up whatever the hell they need to go get a guy that they have spoken highly, not just in the media to, but to the journalists as well. They're big-name journalists. Tony Grossi, I think, is one of them. The main one is Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah.
That is co-signing the fact that the Browns think very highly of
Listen,
Sanders.
some of the most fun for Browns fans is untapped potential. And what I mean by that is we're still in the realm where Shedeur Sanders could be amazing. If we draft him, I'll be as ecstatic as you guys were or are. I'll be as ecstatic as I was when we drafted Johnny Manziel and he slid, because I don't know. That's just, we're still at the period where we don't know until he loses 6 straight. And I go, well, this sucks.
And you're 100% right that people in Cleveland are enamored with the what if more than what they've done. I remember having a conversation with my brother-in-law, and I was like, he was talking about how much he loved JoJo Vicious. I was like, what if you could trade for Randy Moss? He was like, I just don't want the headache. I was like,
what?
Where's the thing to the Browns fans? To say, like, if somebody walked in right now and was like, you could have Patrick Mahomes, and you could have Derrick Henry, and you could get Cooper Kupp, and all you'd have to give up is, second round draft pick. People be like, oh man, I want the pick. Like, can you imagine if I'm like,
what is with us?
It's that
you use your picks to acquire talent, and if they're giving you talent,
I agree with
the lottery mentality.
I agree with a lot. I agree with all of this, but the quarterbacks that we're talking about for the Cleveland Browns in 2025 don't give me any type of excitement. I'd rather scratch the lottery ticket on a Cam Ward or Sanders at this point in time, because I don't think Russell Wilson can. I don't think Kirk Cousins can out here. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Dak Prescott, I'm not even going to talk about because it's an asinine. I just wanted to hear your guys' take on it.
Don't forget you can do both just super fast. You can get Kirk Cousins and draft Shedeur.
So,
well, according to Kirk, you can't.
Well, and unless he doesn't want to waive his no trade clause because he's being a diva about it. Kirk Cousins.
No, first of all,
right.
I don't like diva in not waiving his no trade clause that was agreed upon by both sides in his contract.
Regardless, he's upset and doesn't want to play there, but a team wants to trade for him, but they might have a rookie and he wants to argue it.
You know who I'm most bummed about?
Who?
Diggs.
Yeah.
The fact that he moved off the board.
Oh, yeah. No one
I
texted
wanted
me and
him.
said Diggs is gone, and I was like, damn, I wanted Diggs. I think it was in our group thread.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was, we have the commenters that we have been talking about it, and the guy's name's slipping my mind right now, so I feel like a horrible host. But who has said for weeks on weeks on weeks that we should get Diggs, and we've sold ourselves on the Stephon Diggs idea. And for him to go to New England was kind of a head scratcher to me. A 3-year deal in New England, like I get it. Drake May, they think he can be the guy. They want to get him a guy to help him pass the ball, have someone actually pass the ball to.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got sold on the chance to play his former team twice a season. Oh, wait,
Yeah, the Bills.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I thought for a second that I was blanking on who. No.
He was with the Texans last year, but the Bills as well. That wasn't
like, oh, shit, he was in Houston, but I didn't even play. He was hurt, right?
Yeah,
So,
he tore
Right.
his ACL,
Yeah, okay.
like that at the beginning.
Thank you for bringing me back.
That
up.
one was crazy. Something else that's been crazy out there in the stratosphere is something that I jokingly predicted a couple weeks ago in Hot Takes, and that is Brock Purdy and Ayuk to Cleveland and whatever deal they
Both.
cook up. Both of them.
How do
And
you
I've seen stuff, and we're talking about some small Twitter accounts putting it out there. Nothing like crazy.
But like
rumors.
Leroy Bickerstaff?
Yeah, maybe it could be Leroy, but I've seen it on the timeline, so I wanted to give it some acknowledgement because I did predict it on the show. Would you guys be okay with Brock Purdy and moving on if it meant that we gave up the number 2?
Mr. Nobody, yeah, I'd be okay with him. Is it going to happen? I mean, I can predict that the world's going to end next year by an asteroid. Doesn't mean it's going to come true.
Right. No, I get you.
I don't. Are you guys sold on Brock Purdy being the answer? Because to give up the number 2, I don't think the answer has to be yes.
Well, he's
I
a
think
system guy.
I think he could fit the system perfectly here and roll. Yes, I think he could be the answer. It
More
depends
than
what we
Shador?
That's to be determined. We don't know. We're talking about a lottery ticket versus a guy that's at least been to a Super Bowl.
No, it's
before.
fair. I think I say, damn, that's a toughie. I think I say no. I'd rather take a chance on Shador and keep him, I think, than Brock Purdy, I think.
Really?
It's a tough one.
Interesting.
I
That's
don't know, maybe. Damn, I'm on the fence.
And Ayuk, though.
And Ayuk, that's sweet the deal.
you give up, and this hurts me to say, you give up Wyatt Teller, Greg Newsome. Hopefully, I'm going to pick 33, but probably pick 2, and you get Purdy and Ayuk, and you're not happy about that?
I didn't know about all the other Newsomes. This is a different scenario in my mind, but
I'm
yes,
building a trade in front of you as we speak. A
that
little
I'm
off the
happy
hip.
about. Because we didn't give up our number 2. We went up
If we
33.
give up number 2, then we give up 2, Teller, Newsome, and a couple like day 3 picks, maybe the second round 3 picks.
I definitely would crucify him for it or hate it. I don't think quite as sold on Brock Purdy as this year. I know he made a Super Bowl. I don't think he's trash. I think the ceiling for Shador is higher than it is for Brock Purdy. And Brandon Ayuk's not enough to not roll the dice on it, but I would not be mad at that deal. No, I just would.
The guy that was upset when we talked about the ceiling of Deshaun Watson.
Hold on, guys.
being higher.
We have a special delivery coming in here straight from Martini.
Hey.
We have some food coming in that we got to highlight. We did it right. So just go for it. Set it down and
What
we'll
do we
figure it
have
out.
here?
We have honey mustard chicken.
Honey mustard chicken. Eric got his pasta up in
Oh.
there.
Chicken parm, and I got the apple butter.
And then we have
That looks
absinthe. We have
delicious.
plenty of food coming out to us right now here at
From
Martini.
the lovely people.
Thank you
over
so
at Martini.
much.
Oh
Have
my
a fry,
God,
have a
is
fry.
great.
This looks so good.
Listen, while we take a bite in real quick, I'm going to take us to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit Cleveland Cavaliers
Okay.
and their little slide that they had on the road trip over on the West Coast. You are listening to and watching, and we're here at Martini's at
Grab that
the
for me.
office.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
And we are back at the office. We are enjoying some food here at Martini's. We are doing an on-location podcast here with the show. It has been a good time. They have been great hosts. We've had great martinis. We're trying out some great food right now. Gentlemen, we all got some merchandise on. Let's tell the people out there where they can get some Alfalfa. John, why don't you tell them? Unless you forget the website name.
On our website. No, why don't you tell them?
At the office, CLE.com, you can buy a merch hoodie like this, shirt like that, polo like that. You can buy it all. You can get a hoodie like my uncle behind us right now.
Check it out. Thanks, Uncle.
And shout out Fans First Sports Network for everything they do in supporting the show and what we do here. Let's talk Cleveland Cavaliers.
Let's talk food really quickly first.
Go
Yeah.
for it, please. Let me stop talking for a second.
Have you tried? Get one of these mozzarella sticks. Check this out, man. They got the spread out here for us. We got mozzarella sticks, potato skins. I was talking about them making their own food at the beginning. They cut these boneless wings themselves right here on site with their steaks, 100% fresh. Potato skins are the die for, man. How's the pasta? Have you dug into that?
I have not yet, but I had so much to say on the Cavs. But I think I'm done. I think you guys can handle it from here. I got this chicken parm in front of me.
This looks fantastic, man. If you guys are out in the Ashtabula area,
make sure you check it out.
Check this place out. And the prices are reasonable.
100%.
That's the thing. I was looking at it and I was like, man, you won't go broke here. I got 4 daughters, as you guys know. 3 of them are back here over my shoulder. My wife is too.
Oh, they are?
I'm not going to have to bankrupt myself here at all.
No,
This
not
is
at all.
fantastic. And the staff is friendly. I can't say enough. Come check it out.
You should come check out Martini's, Ashtabula, Ohio, where they are gracious enough to let us host the show, do our thing, have some people out, and just have a good time. One last thing on Martini's, real quick. You forgot to plug. Wednesdays are Martini night, so you get specialty prices on your martinis if you come to Martini's on Wednesdays. So if you're thinking about making a stroll over to Geneva on the Lake, maybe have a little martini here before you go that way.
It is so good.
Cleveland Cavaliers
Well,
basketball.
I didn't try this yet.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you guys
No,
get it
no,
up.
go
I'll
ahead.
just tee us off.
I
I'll
can
just
hear
keep
you.
talking and not get to eat it all. Don't worry about it, Jim. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
See this.
They've had some highs, they've had some lows as played. They are still the best team in basketball, if not by one game. But the West Coast road trip definitely bit them in the butt a little bit. Same thing with the Orlando Magic game on Sunday. What do you guys think about the skid, the losing streak that happened, the 4-game losing streak? Yes, they did win 2 in a row to follow it up. But give me your take, give me your thoughts on everything that went down with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I cannot
Yeah.
be surprised. Please.
Get it
Shut
out.
up.
Yeah.
Over that.
Listen, I'm not worried at all. Let me tell you why. First things first, it's about leadership. This team has a lot of leaders. None more important than head coach Kenny Atkinson. I know I've hyped this guy up all season. He was my pick before we actually hired him as coach. But what he did the other day is an example of this leadership. We talk all the time about what it means to coach and to be a leader of men, because that's the most important trait. The X's and O's, almost every coach is pretty well familiarized with how to call plays. Yeah, Kenny's done a great job on the offensive side of the ball. He's taken the same group of guys, increased their offensive efficiency like crazy. We know that. But the other day, the Cavs had a fun practice. This was after their losing streak. They played horse. The coaches put together clips of them from the NCAA tournament to play. They didn't harp on what they were doing wrong. What was nerve-wracking during some of those games, I don't mind that they lose to the Clippers. The Clippers are a good ball team. And as John likes to say, and he's absolutely right, the guys on the other side get a paycheck too. And for a reason. They're professional athletes. What drives me nuts in particular about that losing streak is how they were losing. Guys, we just had Noah feed John. I had to pause because Noah, that's a first.
Oh my God.
You don't feed your friends at the office, man?
No,
Okay,
I do
well,
not
that's-
feed
that's
another
on you.
grown man ever.
That's on you, man. That's on you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course.
Continue.
How they were losing, though, is what was so frustrating.
Yeah, that's true.
Donovan Mitchell coming back from injury, he has not been himself. I think he was 14 for 46, if I'm not mistaken.
I can give you the stats on that. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. Orlando Magic, first loss, 23 points. He was 9 from 28 from the field. Los Angeles Clippers, the next game, 5 from 18, 27.8% from the field, 2 from 9 from 3.
I tried the chicken parm.
You keep going. You go to the Sacramento Kings, 26 points, 8 for 17 from the field, 47%. It's a little bit better there. shoots 1 from 6 from 3, though. That is the key here.
That is the key.
You go to the Phoenix Suns, 7 points, 2 for 18, 0 for 0 from three-pointer. He didn't even attempt one that game. He got the yips 110%. Utah Jazz, they come back, they win that game. 16 points, 5 from 13, 0 from 0 from 3 yet again. He needs to shoot better.
So that's my first point in what was worrisome to me. Absolutely, he needs to shoot better, but it's not all on him. What they were doing was uncharacteristic. They were fouling way too much, sending people to the line. Second chance points were killing us, especially against the Clippers. Hats off to the Clippers, by the way. They shot phenomenally. They did a really good job, but you can't give up so many second chance points. Normally, we dominate the middle with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. We weren't at all. Mobley sat out the Clippers game. My point is, though, we weren't doing the little things. Our defensive efficiency was terrible. Why I'm not worried? That's the kind of thing that picks up naturally in the playoffs. Defense, especially. What was worrisome is that we were throwing inbound passes off of the backboard. Like, we were just doing stupid things and little mistakes. But this team, they don't have much to play for in March.
No, but here's the reason I think I want to jump in on this one. Here's the reason that's worrisome. Am I terrified? No, but I'm a little worried, and here's why. 3-point heavy teams can go cold, and we saw them go cold. Donovan and Garland have underperformed in the playoffs in late seasons before. We were worried about it. Donovan Mitchell went from over 40% to about 30% on threes. They got back to it, but the stuff we were worried about happened. I agree that they don't have a ton to play for right now. But what they have to play for is to remind themselves and prove to everybody else that they're not just going to have a really good regular season and then get taken to 7 games by Orlando before they lose to the Heat.
I don't think that's happening, though.
So there was a
I don't think
coach.
it's happening either, but they didn't ask if you think it was happening. They asked, are you worried? There's enough reason that I'm worried to say I went from on a scale of 1 to 10, I went from a 1 to a solid 3 or 4.
Here's the thing, though.
So let me talk for a second. There's a coach that when I was going through the recruiting process to play wonderful Division III football, that had it went by, be where your feet are. This Cavaliers team worries me because they are not where their feet are. They are in mid-April, early May, that time frame where the games matter. It's a 7-game series. Right. This Cavs team has never swept a team, period, in their togetherness as a group. So am I worried? A little bit, yes, because they're not being where their feet are. Because what happens when we get to round 1 and we're playing a Detroit Pistons and we give up 2 we were already thinking about the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. This team needs to learn and needs to be where their feet are. Do I think they can, and do I think they're going to turn it around? I think we've already seen the uptick of that the last 2 games, and we'll continue to see it as they go through the last 10 that they have left this season.
I think they're.
Like, I'm not worried. And then let them lose game 1 to Orlando at home.
There's 2 case studies we can look at here. The 2023 Nuggets, who took off most of March, came back with a vengeance, won the finals. Granted, they had the best player in the NBA, but
A little different, but I see what you're saying.
and the 2021 Utah Jazz, who dominated the regular season and then lost in the second round to the Clippers, actually, I believe. They're not that Jazz team. We have enough playmakers where if one guy's not hitting, it doesn't worry me. My concern would be if it's bigger. And again, I trust in Kenny Atkinson. Listen, this is not and it should be noted, this is not a finals or bust team. We did not expect the finals out of them starting this season. When we started this, there were a lot of question marks. Noah correctly called if we can unlock Mobley a bit, we'll be a successful team. But it was never, guys, we're definitely going to the finals. So I think we need to keep perspective. We still have a 5-game lead on Boston, who are the champions.
Yeah.
And who could very well repeat. Now, granted, We cannot give Boston second chance points like that. And I'm not saying we should be looking ahead to Boston at all, but I don't think we need to be concerned.
But I tried to caveat and do just what you said by saying, remember what's at stake in the big picture. By saying on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm moving from a 1 to a 3 or a 4.
Right, but you guys are acting like because they're not going to win 70 games this season, which, oh, by the way, I think 3 teams have done.
I'm not saying
they had one. I know, but they had one 4-game slid. It's good.
That's the problem.
No, it's not a problem though.
Let me put it to you this way: if a team went 72-10, you wouldn't worry about them. If they went 72-0 and lost the last 10 games of the season,
you would 100% worry.
That's what, not quite to that degree, obviously, but that's what comes in. It's not how you play all year in the league that is worse for the regular season not mattering. It's how you look going into the playoffs, and now spring is here, it's warm outside. Playoff basketball's around the corner.
But people lose
10% from the streets, and we're losing games.
But people lose 4 games. I mean, that's normal in the NBA. The last time the Cavs lost a significant amount was in January. They lost 3 in a row. We weren't saying the sky was falling.
If they won all the games and then lost the last 4 of the season, you would be more concerned. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm terrified.
I'm not worried.
I'm not terrified either. I bar none think the Cleveland Cavaliers are the best team in the NBA. I've said that since the first streak, since most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, yeah, them going on a split and losing focus in March is causing me a little bit of concern. I'm looking at the semantics of the question like John. Now, how much concern is it? He says like a 3 or 4, I say like a 2 because I have a lot of faith in our boys in the wine and gold to get it done this year because they've shown they can get it done on all of the stages.
By the way, you guys didn't ask who won horse. Care to take a guess?
Isaac Okoro.
Horse?
Yeah.
Evan Mobley.
Ty Jerome, who, as I understand, did not take a shot shorter than 3 points.
As he should. Gentlemen, what other thoughts do you have on the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I hope I'm wrong, and I'm not pressing the panic button at all. A little bit of concern is more than no concern, but it's not a lot. Erik had a really good point. It's not NBA Finals or bust this year, but it is Eastern Conference Finals or bust this year. And I think this team needs to get there, and I think they will. We'll just have to see. The one thing that irritates me, though, is Cavs seem to get less respect than anybody because they're from Cleveland. I haven't figured it out. People are like, well, it's because you haven't beat Boston, you haven't proven yourself. And I get that. The NBA isn't what you do in a playoff league. But Oklahoma City hasn't beaten anybody either, and they get all these accolades for being the best of the West. Put some respect on our boys' names. You're right, man. Every one of them got the best team in the NBA. Going into that losing streak, I'd like to see them get a little bit more respect nationally.
They haven't gotten that respect nationally yet, and I think we won't get it until we're hosting. I almost said the Lombardi. I know it's not the Lombardi.
Larry O'Brien.
Larry O'Brien, you're correct. We got a little bit more time here on the show, so why don't we dive into one other thought that I had based on what you got. Ty Jerome, is he in the wine and gold next year? Tell me what you think.
I hope so.
Yeah, you and me both. I think it's going to come down a little bit to money versus what he wants to do. He could easily play for a contender and stay in Cleveland and take a pay cut. He could easily go to New Jersey and be the man and get paid like crazy and suck.
My man just said New Jersey. It's 2025, buddy. Catch up.
Close enough.
I was watching you slurp down the chicken we're supposed to be sharing and was getting nervous. But no, I think, yeah, if you want to go to – I was like, hey, we all got to share this, man. I don't know. I think if I had to bet on it right now, I'd say no. Because I think money is more alluring. I think he'd love to stay in Cleveland, but if I had to bet on it right now, I think he'd lose Ty Jerome.
I think the most important thing to Ty Jerome, and this sounds silly, is being a starter. I don't think he wants to continue to be 6-man, and I think he'll go somewhere where he can start.
What do you think, Noah?
I think that they're going to retain him. I think the core of this team, all of them, not just the core four plus whoever's starting at small forward that night, all of the main components of this team. So really, 1 through 10 on the roster, including DeAndre Hunter now, care about what we're building in Cleveland to the point where the options of Ty Jerome to get the most money and start are like Utah, the Wizards, New Jersey. To me, I just think that he's going to stick around because they're going to get a deal done that pays him money that he deserves, but not the most money he can get out there. He is going to get a hardy role player contract, even though he could go start somewhere.
I do think
the league rules work, he can stay in Cleveland if they pay him. They can pay him almost whatever they want. If Erik is wrong, which I don't know that he is, but if he's wrong and he doesn't want to start, the Cavs can retain him based on salary. So that's good.
Yeah, and I do think that if he leaves, I think it will be a culture shock for him. I truly believe, and this is another reason I'm not worried, the Cavs have the best locker room in the NBA. They have the most camaraderie. It is maybe the loosest, which is crazy considering Garland, won it out basically not that long ago. But I think it'll be a culture shock for him.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see Ty Jerome stick around. I think it's going to happen just based off of what we've seen happen. On top of the fact that we have his college best friend locked up for at least another year in DeAndre Hunter, who has been one of the bigger bright spots since he's come to Cleveland. I think he sticks around. I think we see him long term here, and I think we see this core ride it out for a little bit, man.
Also say if word gets back to Ty, if you're listening, you got to be careful what you wish for, because I've seen people ask for more money, ask to start, never live up to the contract. So there's Fred VanVleet comes to mind as somebody who's just a really good six-man. Wasn't Manu Ginobili a six-man most of the time they were making championship
he
runs?
would have started anywhere else, though.
You said the same thing about Ty, but he stayed in
But you know who
San Antonio and
Manu
won a
is?
bunch
He's
of
still
rings.
a legend, right? So
That's
why
all
does
I'm
it
saying.
matter?
Yeah.
If you get the rings, you get the accolades, you're putting up the points that Ty
No,
Jerome
I
is.
agree with
It wouldn't
that.
matter.
Ty
To
Jerome's
me,
average is
I hope
hurting.
that's the case. He's a young kid, though, that we just don't
he's
know.
older than me, so I don't know if he's a young kid.
Well, I
Well,
want him back. I think it's a unanimous yes. Will he be back? Everybody's kind of like, it depends.
I think that they'll do this front office, this ownership group, the best in Cleveland, I might add, has shown that they will do everything in that some to keep this roster.
we're the only ownership group in Cleveland, but
What do you mean?
you said the best in Cleveland. We're the only NBA team in Cleveland, so
I was talking about
Versus the
compared
Browns
to
and
the
the
Browns and the
Oh,
Guardians.
well, that is true.
Um,
Fair enough.
I think that they'll do everything in their power to keep him around, and I'm excited to see just that. Gentlemen, it has been fun here at Martini's in Ashtabula. We got one last final little tidbit that we do here on the show, and that is random thoughts, hot takes, final questions, any pressing matters on your mind that you have today.
Nothing pressing, but I will say, I've been excited to do this live show with you guys. But not that I see you guys all the time, but to sit here and do the show in person with the two of you, be able to dack you up. I really wish John would have brought his best take chain, because the one time he could actually give
He's gonna
Oh,
pull it out of it.
I know, the one time he could have gave it to somebody instead of just putting it on himself, and he conveniently forgets. But this has been, we might have had better shows, we might have had better topics, but this might have been the most fun I've ever had doing a show.
Amen, brother. It's my favorite time of year. You got March Madness. You got baseball tomorrow for the Cleveland Guardians. I can't think of someplace I'd rather be on a random Wednesday night in March and sit between you guys having a couple of martinis, talking sports, and getting some food. So I agree with the sentiment, man. It's been an awesome experience, and thank you to both of you, and thank you to Martinis. Get out here if you have a chance. This place is excellent.
By the way, I do apologize to you two, because the chicken parm is gone.
You left the spaghetti and parsley.
It's
Thanks a
gone.
lot.
It was really
I
good.
left you a chicken breast, John. I ate the fries
It
and
was
had
really
one of the
good.
chicken breast.
Actually, it was probably in my lane right here, too. My wife makes something that looks just like that, tastes like it's excellent. I know you got to get us out. Let's do it.
So, I didn't get to do my final thought and hot take. You guys got to yip it up and be all, I love you guys. I love you guys. I do. I really appreciate it.
But let's talk WWE.
No, we're not talking WWE, at least not yet. There's a side. No, I'm just kidding. My hot take goes like this. There is a man by the nickname of Sticks that got sent to the bullpen for the Cleveland Guardians this year. I think he is going to revive and revitalize what he's got going on and be one of the better bullpen arms in the league. He looked good last night in spring training. Is it a sign of things to come? Who knows? He looked good in his first spring training start, and then we saw where that ended up for him. But I could see Tristan McKenzie being a useful bullpen arm for this Cleveland Guardians team that's probably going to need some bullpen help to start the season.
I love this hot take, but the guy that is always first to say "I love you, boys" in the group chat is the only one that doesn't talk about how fun it was to hang with the boys.
Yeah, it was fun. Sticks McKenzie in the bullpen.
Because that's what matters. The people are here to listen to us talk about sports, not
Fair
listen
play.
to us talk about each other. I love you both. It has been a fun, fantastic, great time here at Martini's in Ashtabula, Ohio. Gentlemen, you got anything else you want to say to the people live or here at the bar before we get out of here?
I am stuffed. I got to tell you.
Love
The
you guys, and
food
thanks
was
for listening.
delicious.
Food was excellent.
We appreciate all the viewer questions coming in. We appreciate everyone here that's come to show up and support us. We got people all over here wearing the merch, waving, doing their thing. It has been an absolute blast here at Martini's. Make sure you go check it out. Make sure you come on a Martini Wednesday because, gentlemen, it was fantastic. And until next time, we are here at the office talking all things Cleveland sports. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the download button, do all of the things that you do to help a brand like us grow. And until next time, Cleveland, or should I say Ashtabula, stay up, stay easy. We appreciate your time. Peace.
Peace.